Hey, afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the February edition. I was just thinking, February edition of what? February edition of the thing that we did in January, which is the Tribe and Purpose Leadership Development System, where I am going to do a masterclass for you. I'm going to teach you something out of our Green Beret Leadership Program. And today you're in for a treat because we have two Green Beret Leadership Programs. We have a basic and a premium. And what I'm going to teach you today is one of our classes out of our brand new, newly developed, newly put together Green Beret Leadership Program, the premium version of it. And that I'm super excited about that because it's an important thing to understand. It's an important thing to do because leadership is one of those skills that I truly believe if you aren't constantly doing something to make yourself better, to improve your leadership, to practice leadership, to read, to go to classes, to go to lectures, whatever means you use, be part of the Green Beret Leadership Program. If you are not doing that, then that skill will diminish. It will die. And that's it, because you're not feeding it. You have to feed your leadership skills. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why we're taking the year 2024 as part of our give back and teaching these master classes each month. If you haven't figured out the pattern yet, third Thursday, that's number 3. 1, 2, 3 for our European friends, 3 for us Americans. Also the big W, win. But that's it. That's what we do. We're giving back. We're teaching this so that you can be a better leader, so that you can succeed and excel at who and what you want to be. And today, I want to talk to you about networking. And I've thought about this in many different ways, and it sounds like this sort of basic when you hear the word networking and relationship building. I'm not your marriage counselor, but I have had a fairly successful marriage for 37 years. Hello, Miss Suzanne. But the truth is, you can't get there alone. You have to have a team. You have to have a tribe. You have to have a network that you can rely on to be successful, to be there when you need it, to ask questions of, to get advice from, heck, to buy your product, to buy what you do, and support what you do, to validate that what you're doing is valuable to someone. That's why we need a network. We have to do that. We have to be part of it. Nobody gets there alone. The great African proverb, and by the way, I looked this up and I could not find where in Africa this proverb came from. But the proverb goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. And that go together is the tribe. That's your network. So how do you figure this out? How do you develop this? How do you create this? Where do these people come from? Do you just sit out in the front lawn with a sign and they walk up to you? It takes work, it takes effort. And that's what I'm going to talk to you about today is what that work, what that effort looks like and how you can build a network and sustain that relationship with your network. Let me do a little slide switch here. There we go. So, like I said, this is part of the Green Beret Leadership Program. This is part of our premium, our advanced leadership development system within the Green Beret Leadership Program. So this class is a next level class that I'm sharing with you today. And there we go. All right. But it's also part of the larger Green Beret Leadership Program. So just wanted to share with you again what you get when you go through the Green Beret Leadership Program. Better understanding of self-awareness, mindfulness, again, another skill that you have to work on daily in order to keep it going and to use it to your advantage and not lose it. Team building, problem solving, developing the plan, and having a mindset of continuous improvement. Okay, quick clicking that one. There we go. So that slide does not work in that color. Why we're here, what we're going to get, the outcome of this part of the Green Beret Leadership Program helps you understand better who you are and how to build a team. And what is a network but a form of a team? All right. So we call these groups of people many, many different things. But in the end, they're a team, they're a tribe, it's a network. And I'm going to talk about those as we go forward here. So, like I said, no one's going to get there alone. Great leaders, that is small. Give me 1 second to make the slide a little bit bigger. Great leaders are surrounded by great people. But how do you find them? How do you find these people so that you can be surrounded by great people? Because you know what? You know what a great leader does is they put great people on their team, the best of the best on their team. Because a leader knows they're not the smartest one in the room. If they are, they've built the wrong team. They're in the wrong network. What I like to say is, as the leader, I don't have to know how to dig the hole, but I have to know how to get the hole dug. That right there is leadership in a nutshell. I mean, can I grab a shovel and dig a hole? Yeah. But you know what? I really have to know how to get it done. I don't have to be the expert shovel driver. Or like the story I've told before, I don't have to be the guy who knows how to drive the backhoe. I've got guys who work for me who know how to drive the backhoe and can do it a lot better than I can. That's what we're talking about in leadership. I don't have to be the expert. That's why I have a team. That's why I have a tribe. That's why I have a network, because I can reach into my network, into my tribe where the experts are and utilize that. But how do we get there? Let me see here. There we go. So what is it? It's a system. It's a group of people. It's an organization that is interconnected. And what I'm talking about here is if you think about, in the computer IT realm, we talk about a network, right? A closed network, an open network. The internet creates a network of all connectivity around the world in a very broad sense. But I'm talking about in people. And that people, it's the same principles. We're still connected in various ways, whether it's your neighbor, the people down the street, somebody you work with, somebody you went to school with, somebody you serve with. They're all part of that network. And what we want to do is not just have a random group of people, but have a system of people. And the reason I use that term is because, as I trip and fall, the reason I use that term is a system is a repeatable organization, a repeatable process. If we have a system of people, we know who and what we can rely on and what we can rely on them for. That's what a system is. It's repeatable. So how do we build this network? Well, it's not just go out and randomly talk to people. I was part of a panel for Onward to Opportunity, which is a great service that is part of a Syracuse University give back to the veteran community. They do a number of things from teaching soon-to-be veterans how to take the uniform off and go off into the business world, to they provide training for project management, Scrum and Agile training. So they're a great organization, and I was a part of this panel as part of one of their graduation classes. And I'll always remember a fellow veteran who had gotten out already, and she had gone through the Onward to Opportunity program. And she stood up and just told everybody about networking. She said, just go to every networking event you can go to. Just go and just meet as many people as you can. And she said, that's how I got the job that I'm in now, and I love this job. I had to interrupt her. I felt bad about it. I still feel bad about interrupting her and telling her that's not right. Because that's the spray and pray theory. The spray and pray theory is I've got a flock of ducks flying across the sky in front of me, and I'm just going to take my shotgun and fling it up there and just throw lead up in the air and hope I hit something. Will I? Maybe. Not likely, because I've tried that as a kid. The only way to be successful is to take my shotgun, pick out a duck in the flock, get out in front of that duck in the flock, and go and lead it and flow through the shot and hit that one duck. Aim for that one duck. Networking, same thing. I don't need to go to every networking event, every job fair there is out there, and just walk around and do the grip and grin tour. Grip and grin tour. Grip like a handshake, grin on your face, right? The grip and grin tour. I don't need to do that. If you do that, good luck, because you're going to spend a lot of time talking to a lot of people that will do you no good and do them no good. Sometimes I call them time vampires. You know, that person that just wants to come and talk to you and just drain on and on and on. It's like, oh, geez, how do I get out of the corner of this room? Because this guy's got me cornered. And he's going to tell me all the problems, and I'm so bored. No, don't do that. You need to target people. You need to target organizations. You need to target these networking things, these happy hours, so that you meet the people that you want in your network, meet the people that you want in your tribe and your team. That's what you have to do. It's not just this willy-nilly go to the chamber website and look at all the networking events and happy hours that are going on. Because if you do that, man, you will not be able to sleep, because you'll be going to every single thing. There's a lot of them, believe me. Be targeted, be intentional. So what is a network? Well, you got people on social media, people that you're connected with on LinkedIn and Facebook groups. You know, when you join a LinkedIn or a Facebook group, generally speaking, those are a little bit smaller, filtered. The reason you join that is because maybe there's some common interest. There's a key piece right there. What is the common interest that we all have? Because maybe that special ops veteran network has other special ops veterans that are in it that I can talk to. Or maybe the Bricklayers Association or the Pipe Fitters Association group on Facebook is the organization that I want to get into, and that's who I want to talk to. I want to be around those people. But what else? You got your neighborhood, you got your family, work. These are all networks that we exist in, whether you realize it or not. You can be an active participant, or you can be an oxygen thief, time vampire in those networks. You can do that. But these are all networks that exist that you can join and be part of. Even WhatsApp, I forgot about that one because I have been in groups on WhatsApp, but I'm not anymore. But that is a great little smart, small tool to use to stay in a tight-knit group. Slack is another tool that is out there that I'm a member of in a couple of networks in Slack. The Special Operations, the SAB, the Military Veterans Startup, the Defense Entrepreneur Forum, to just name a couple, that are viable and valuable networks to be a part of, because the people in them are people I want to be around, people I want to talk to, people I want to help be successful. So the thing about a network, the thing about meeting people is you can't just meet them once and expect to go back to them in 2 years and them to even remember who you are. I was fortunate enough to be taught this key phrase many, many years ago, shortly after I got out of the Army and I was doing business development in the government space. Enthusiasm has a half-life. And here's what I mean. So the last 10 days, even less than that, the last week, I've been to 2 very big fast-moving conferences where I met a lot of people. I mean, a lot of people. Business cards exchanged, LinkedIn connections, all those sort of things, right? And the thing that I do that I learned, because enthusiasm has a half-life, is you got to reconnect with that person. And my rule of thumb is within 24 hours of meeting them. Because two things are going to happen. One, they're going to forget who the heck you are. Who was that guy? He had a hat on, had a funny mustache, kind of walked with a limp a little bit. Who was that guy? God dang it, man. What did he do? Shoot, I don't know. All right. Or you can take the time and the effort and say, hey, it was great to connect with you. Here's what I'd like to do. I'd like to talk more. I'd like to learn more. That's great. That's step one. Now, if that person that you've connected with, if you find value, it's a mutual value. And I'll talk about that here in just a little bit about fair exchange. If it's a mutual value, you both seem to like each other, then you should do more. Maybe do a phone call. Maybe plan to meet up again. But that's not all. How do you stay connected with that person going forward? Because there's another rule that I learned a long time ago. Another friend of mine taught me, and I call it the cousin rule. There's some things that we do that we're involved with that and we add people to our network in these events, these activities that I refer to as the cousin rule. And the cousin rule is I spend enough time interacting with that person personally for a period of time to develop a deep bond in that relationship, a very deep bond in that relationship, which means they're like a cousin. There's somebody I don't have to talk to every year. I don't have to talk to every other year. We don't have to meet up for Christmas or happy hour or drinks or anything like that. I can call them anytime for basically the rest of my life because, we form such a deep bond. Now, those are also the kind of people that you want to stay in touch with because you like them, right? That's why you have that bond. So you have to still stay in touch with them. But the point is, there's this category of people in your network, and I've got quite a few of them that I served with over the years, that I can just pick up the phone. I may not have talked to them in 10 years. And I could pick up the phone and call them and ask them for advice, support, or just how they're doing. And you know what? It's going to be just like we've always talked, just like we've been talking every week, just like we've been talking and staying in regular contact. That's the cousin rule. Not a lot of people fit into that. And though you have to be the judge of what that situation is. It's not something that you generally discuss with the person, but it is an opportunity to have some pretty powerful, deep connections to some people that that they're back in the old Rolodex, the scroll through the phone sort of thing, and go, oh yeah, I hadn't talked to Chef in a long time. And he would be a great person to ask this question. Let me give him a call. That's what I'm talking about in the cousin rule. Now, outside of that, we have to form that relationship. We have to maintain that relationship. We can't just talk to somebody once and expect that we're going to have this great relationship and be in the cousin space, if you will, of that relationship in that network. We have to foster that. We have to build that through communication, through follow-ups, through, hey, you want to get together again? What are you doing next week? Hey, can we set something up next month? Can we do I've done this with groups before too. Can we just do a monthly call? We'll all come in, the group of us will all come together on Tuesday nights and we'll talk and we'll catch up and see how each other's doing, see if anybody needs anything, if we can help each other, anybody grow their business, check on the family, and all those sort of things. That's a great way to do it. Doesn't always work. Works in certain organizations and certain places with certain people. But I've done that, and that's a great way to build that network up. So I mentioned this earlier, fair exchange. Now, a fair exchange, what that means is if I give you something, then you give me something. Think of it like going to the Walmart. We're going to the Walmart and I need a gallon of milk. I look at that gallon of milk and I see the price on it and I go, oh my gosh, Miss Suzanne didn't tell me it was that much. I grab that gallon of milk and I say, it's going to be this much. And I go to the cash register and I give them money, whatever, $5. I give the cash register $5, swipe my credit card, whatever I do. And then I walk out with that gallon of milk. That was a fair exchange. An unfair exchange would be for me to take that gallon of milk and just walk out the store. That'd be a theft, a thief exchange. We don't want to do that. We want to have a fair exchange, especially when we're talking about creating this network, creating these relationships. So what happens a lot, and I've worked with a lot of guys getting out of the military who've asked me this question. Otis, I feel funny asking Joe at Lockheed Martin for more advice or calling him up and asking him about how to get a job and what might be some good ways of opportunities in those areas. And what I told him and what I've told each one of these guys is, yeah, it feels funny. It feels like you should be giving them something. But the question you have to ask yourself in this particular instance is, how do you know that the fair exchange between you and Joe isn't the fact that Joe just wants the opportunity to help you? When you think about that, because you know what Joe can do? Joe could say no. Joe could say, nah, I ain't got time. Go talk to somebody else. Go talk to Bill. Go talk to Mark or Brian, you know. Don't bother me. I'm too busy. He could say that. But what if you're asking Joe that question is giving Joe the opportunity to do something that he likes doing, helping you? Now, in the same sense, and I was on a call with somebody today, a business owner, founder, business owner of a very successful business. I'll give him a shout out. Matt Bach, great company. They're doing unbelievable work, providing some great products to our military. I was talking with one of the founders, Sean, today, and getting some advice on some things I'm doing with another business that I'm involved in. We were talking about how and what and who and all these sort of things. And I was like, man, he's giving me all this great information. How can I show him that I'm appreciative of it? Well, you know what I did? First off, I gave him lots of gratitude. Thank you very much, time and effort and thoughts. But secondly, I said, well, you know, I live in Colorado. Ski, hunt. You ever want some inside tracks on any of that stuff? Ask me. And oh, by the way, I got this thing called Tribe and Purpose, where I help businesses, small businesses, launch the next level of success. If you ever want to bounce strategy, thoughts, ideas off of that are in your business, off of me, feel free to give me a call, because I was extremely grateful for the information that he provided me. So I wanted to provide him something back. I wanted to give him that $5 when I walked out with that gallon of milk. That's fair exchange. And that is so important in having that relationship. If you become a time vampire, don't call me, first off, if you are one of those people. Secondly, don't. Be cognizant. If somebody schedules the call for a half hour, then your job is to make sure it's a half-hour call. If it's a 15-minute call, make sure that you're paying attention to it. and offer to schedule more. I want to be mindful of your time, Joe, man. I really appreciate everything you're doing for me, all this information you provided me. And, and I also want to be mindful of and respectful of your time. And I know we only scheduled this for 15 minutes and we're coming up on the 13-minute mark. I really am grateful. And if Joe says, hey, no worries, man, I always put a buffer in, let's talk some more. Boom, okay, right? It's all about how you talk to people and you keep that fair exchange going. Because Joe wants to help me, so Joe's going to do what he can to help me. If he's got something that he needs to stop, he'll tell me. Okay? It's a fair exchange. And that's how you build a quality relationship. Let's see here. Next slide. So when you show up at one of these networking events, I want you to think, why am I here? Who do I want to talk to? Who else is going to be in the room? What do I want to gain from being here? Sounds selfish, doesn't it? But it's not. I am here for intentional purposes. I am being intentional in why I'm here, and I'm intentional in who I want to meet. 2 conferences I went to this week, very same thing. I prepared my target list before I went to the conference. And what I mean is I looked at who the speakers were, who the vendors are, and I said, these are the organizations and these are the people I want to talk to. So I did a couple of things. One, I did the background on those people so I would know who they were, what they thought about, what kind of businesses they are, where they came from, so I could have some sort of common ground and understanding of them. And I also knew why I wanted to talk to them so that I could help them or learn from them. In the end, when you go right down, that's what this list is there on this slide. When you're meeting people, you got to know why you're there, why you're meeting. You got to listen more than you talk. I don't know how many people I've met over the years at various conferences that tell me everything about themselves and never once ask me what I do and who I am. Hand me their card and walk off. I think they got their KPI as a business is how many business cards they hand out, not how many they collect or how many people or the quality of connections they make. So think about that. The other piece, being genuinely interested. You know, yes, you're going to hear some things and you're going to start talking with somebody and you're going to realize, crap, this guy ain't who I thought it was. And you know what? Be nice. You never know. He may turn out to be something else, a lead to something else. So don't think that because all of a sudden it's not important to you, that you shouldn't still be a good human being and be authentic and listen. Another technique that a friend of mine taught me years ago is to make the conversation about them. Spend more time listening to them because you're showing that they are important to you and who and what they do is important to you. Now, let me tell you about exchanging contact info. There's a couple of things. One, the good old-fashioned business card. That's great. Doesn't always work because what's on the business card? Email. So why don't we follow up? And that's where the enthusiasm has the half-life again. How do we follow up? Email. Emails don't always get through because of all the spam filters we have out there now. So that may not be the best means of contacting that person. But you know what most times gets through, even though now there are some tools that filter this, is text messages. And what you could do is right there, I'll tell you another technique in a second that a friend of mine taught me, is right there where you're talking to that person, I'm going to text you so that you have my contact information in your phone. Now, here's what a friend of mine told me. She takes it a step further. She doesn't just text right then, exchange contact information with a text. She will pull out her phone, open up her calendar, and say, how about next Tuesday? I've got next Tuesday at 9 o'clock Eastern open. Would you like to get together then and talk? That's following up. That's exchanging and starting to build that relationship. These are the things that make the difference, that make you stand out. And not just in a time vampire way, but in a fair exchange way. How do I help them? It's not, I want to talk to this person so they'll buy my program, buy my product. I want to talk to them because I believe I can help them. I believe that the tool or product that I have is something that will enable them to succeed and go forward. But you got to make the contacts. You got to talk to them. You got to follow up. Very rarely do things like that, the relationship, truly develop in the moment in a networking event or a happy hour or a conference. So to wrap it up, nobody gets there alone. You've got to have a network. You've got to build relationships. You've got to get out there and meet people that are part of your crowd, your tribe, that will support your efforts. You can't get there alone. And a fair exchange. Don't be a time vampire. Take the time to know who you're talking to. Take the time to know what interests them and why they want to talk to you. And do a fair exchange. Quid pro quo is another one. But think about it in that sense. Always keep that in mind. But don't judge that Joe is giving me all this information and support and I can't give him anything back. And don't judge that I shouldn't call Joe because I can't give him anything. Joe may very well be getting the other end of the fair exchange just by talking to you. That may be just what he wants and needs. And then finally, it all requires maintenance. Don't forget the cousin rule, but people you meet and you want to build a relationship with require maintenance. It's not a one and done if that person is a viable addition to your tribe, to your network. Let me see here. That was the last slide. And let me change this view there. Awesome. Let's see here. Joe, what about building your own networking event? Yeah. Well, hey, Joe, that is exactly what you do. But it's still, how do you get people there? You still have to invite people, right? So you got to find out, well, who do you want to invite? Who do you want there? Why do you want to have this networking event? What's the purpose of this networking event? To build your tribe? Yeah, but be intentional in it. Understand why you want these people there. Sorry, there we go. Yeah, forgot I could do that. Sorry, Joe. Hey, Joe, I hope that answered your question. You still have to be intentional. If you're hosting the event, think about who you want in the room. What's the type of people that you want in the room with you? But great question, because yeah, you don't have to go to somebody else's. If you can't find something that matches what you want in your area, then make your own. That's a great way of getting people around you that you like. Let's see, Teresa. I'm sorry, it got too small for me. Yeah, great meeting you also. I was memorable then. Wow, I put my glasses on for this. Thank you, Teresa. Oh, thank you very much, Teresa. Yes, thank you so much for that. It is great to know that some of the things that I've done in the past help remind people and being present. You know, one of the things that I did skip over, I mentioned a little bit about being authentic. Be present. when you're standing there talking to somebody, don't be one of those people that's looking over their shoulder, looking around, checking your Apple Watch for the latest text or email you got in. That's rude. When you're talking with somebody, talk to them. Right back there, right there. Eye contact. I'm focused on you. I'm here in the present moment with you. That's being authentic, and that's being fully present. If you're one of those people that are talking to somebody, and when I start talking, you start doing this, looking up and over, start checking your watch. You know what that tells me? It tells me that you don't care about what I got, what I'm saying. And I'm out. Boom. So think about that. Now, I want to share with you just one other thing that's going on here with Tribe and Purpose. I mentioned our leadership development system, our Green Beret, our basic leadership development system, Green Beret Leadership Program, and then our premium Green Beret Leadership Program. One other thing I'm very excited to talk about is being a fractional COO, Chief Operating Officer for small business. That's another service that we at Tribe and Purpose are doing to help small businesses grow and be successful. So if you look at the Green Beret Leadership Program, that is building a team from within, not buying outside resources. It's building from a known quantity and known resources within your team to help create the leaders of tomorrow in your company. And the fractional COO, what we do as a fractional COO service is we come into your business, we identify what's been lagging, where are the inefficiencies. We help regroup and requalify and become intentional in your culture and prepare you to launch into that next level of growth. For instance, if you're a small business in the government contracting space and you see that graduation revenue threshold coming in your near future, fractional COO is the right answer for you, because that's what we do. We help reshape your company so that you can launch into that next level of growth and success in your business. So if you are a small business, been in business for 5 years or more, have roughly 10 million in revenue, 15 people or so on your staff, maybe 10, roughly 50 to 100 people in employment, and you see that threshold of small business to large business where you have to compete with the Lockheed Martins, the SAICs, the Booz Allens, you see that threshold coming, the Tribe and Purpose Leadership Development System is for you, as well as our fractional COO service. And you can find out more at 10xyourteam.net. And while you're there, go ahead and shoot me a note, click on the Contact Me button, and sign up for our Monday Moment newsletter. So that's 10xyourteam.net. And from there, you can learn more about our leadership development program, AKA the Green Beret Leadership Program, and our fractional COO services that we provide to small businesses to help them launch to that next level of growth. Hey, thanks for spending some time with me this afternoon. Hope you all got something out of this, and have a great weekend. See ya next month.